Hello everyone, and welcome back to FPR1. I'm your host, Hughes Demon, and today the lads are going to be taking on the lovely circuit of Suzuka here in Japan. Not literally in Japan, but it's based in Japan, if you know what I mean. We'll gloss over that fact. We have got a long race ahead of us, 100% distance, and it's going to be a fairly tricky one, especially with the S's at the start of the lap there into the first sector. It's going to be a very difficult one to get consistently right, especially towards the end of the race, where people will get a little bit loopy and a little bit drained, to say the least. That's sort of standard, really. Looking at the screen for a very long time isn't always the greatest thing to do, and not easy. Definitely not easy. We've also got various other overtaking areas, such as the hairpin into Spoon Curve, and sometimes even through 130R. It is more than truly possible. Japan usually brings a fairly high chance of rain sometimes, so expect weather to potentially play an impact either through qualifying or through the race. Sometimes might just get lucky and get away with a dry race, which would be also just as good. One DRS so down the start finish straight. Sorry, the image is a little bit hard to see. It's literally the best one I could literally pull up. Anyway, moving on to the current state of the standings after Canada last time out. Cameron secured back-to-back wins. It puts him up just ahead of Spriggs by 1 point. He's still 50 points behind Hilly. He still extends his lead over Robbo Snipes. He's now got a 10-point gap out at front with 3 rounds left. This could be crucial. But, like I say, anything can still happen. In terms of the championship, if you want to know, mathematically, it's possible from THC and above to be able to win the title. Realistically, though, the main battle is between Hilly and Robbo at the moment, but there is still a slight off chance for the likes of Spread, Kamarov and Spriggs. If you want a sort of rough idea of the hard work that they'd have to do, is at the very least either both Spriggs or Kamarov would have to win the last 3 races without fail, and so that's so long as Hilly only scores like a maximum of 18 points per race. That would leave either a 1 point gap for Kamarov to be ahead, or equal points for Spriggs to be ahead on the countback. So there's an off chance for those drivers. Gonna be difficult for them to pull it off, but it's an off chance. It is looking like a dry race. Thank you very much, boss, for the information. So it looks like the race will be dry, only about a 12% towards the end, 7% throughout the main. So it looks like it's going to be a nice dry race, which I'm sure the drivers will be absolutely loving that, as this track is definitely very difficult. Robbo Snipes been a little bit off form last time, but then again, it's kind of the alcohol beverages that was consumed last time for him, but he's still got a good amount of points in the end. 10 points, it's still very helpful. He's going to limit the damage. Let's see if he can come back fighting out today. Hilly is going to be looking to try and extend that lead even further to give him the best possible chance, as like I say, after this race there'll be only 2 rounds left, and that's Imola and Abu Dhabi for the final. So continuing on then, we head into the session. Guys are now coming out on track already and preparing to do their first runs of the session. For those who are new, joined us for the first time, it is a short qualifying session, 18-minute session to determine the grid for the 100% race that will follow, and all cars are on realistic performance. And first one to start a flying lap will be Axel. You go on board to try and see how he handles the first sector. Oh, careful of the curbs, they are very much raised up in the slightest there. And we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the lap. We've managed to stay away from them through into the two Degners here. We've got a car right ahead of him. Hopefully he gets out of the way. He's actually going to pick up a pretty decent tilt towards the hairpin here. Second gear, low traction on the exit though, so you've got to be careful with the throttle, and he is so. And it gets out of that very, very well indeed. Now, continuing on now towards Spoon Curve. Sort of tightens up to the exit here, and then you are flat out all the way down towards 130 out of corner that you can take absolutely flat, no lifting, no braking required, unless it's a bit wet, in which case you might need to do a bit of lifting. But it's completely flat here, such as the downforce of these cars, and then into the final chicane, heavy braking. Hopefully no championships will be won by crashing into each other down there. As we continue then towards the line, he's going to set the banker lap of a 128.1. That is the first lap on board. And here comes a Dark Ward. I'm aware that we're having some difficulties with a couple of people, so we're going to see if we can try and get them in. Although I think Phantom Dragon may be in, although I haven't seen his name pop up yet, so just bear with me a moment whilst we try and get them in with me. Got a rather large list to try and find these people. Oh, that's not a good sign. Right, we've sent an invite back to him. And we've got Sniper Monkey as well. Invite. So, Dark Lord 130.1. I think if I remember in past times, he tends to struggle a little bit around this track, but then again a lot of people do as well. It is quite difficult. Oh, it really has retired. It really has retired his car, hasn't it? Only Codemasters can do this. Only Codemasters. It's a typical thing. But yeah, we move on. It's a shame. It's a shame. So Phantom Dragon's going to have a lot of work to do. Car is going to be starting at the very back of however many people we get in. Continuing down the rest of the grid then, so Dystopian up in P3, 29.5, 29.4 for Shreddy there, not bad lap times at all, considering where Axel is at the moment. Axel won the... Oh, meanwhile, Ollie Jump has redefined the speed limits for the pit lane. But here is Championship leader Hilly in the Alpine once again. And he's going to be heading around the start-finish line. It goes quickest, 28.0. Nearly 2/10 quicker than Axel there. For the back, spread on the retirement. Interesting. I wonder what happened there. Maybe interesting indeed, but we'll ponder about that. And continuing on, we've got Bolton. I think this might be his first time racing in this league. He's in a Ferrari, so good luck. We don't speak about what happens to Ferrari in this league. Tend to have a rather sticky situation in terms of curses. It goes very cursed indeed for Ferraris, but at the moment Bolton not really doing a proper flying up until now. So here is Franz preparing as well by the looks of things, not utilising all of ERS at the moment. Although saying that, he's just invalidated the final chicane and is going to absolutely have to dive into the pits there, as that'll be this and next lap. I don't think he'll have the fuel to go for that long. So here comes Spriggs in the Williams, got purple set to 2, as we go into the world's smallest set to 3. Oh, I was saying that, well, I think Vegas might be the smallest one actually. I think by distance this one is, but by speed Vegas might top that one. Which is why it's very glitched with the safety car. So Spriggs goes up into 8th place ahead of both the Ferraris, and very narrowly just letting behind Dystopian there. Bolts up into P5. Last time Bolts had some very good pace in Canada, but got rather a lot of penalties. Which is, well, it was bad news. It dropped him right down the order of the grid, and it took him out of a potential shout for driver of the day that time. But yeah, it was a good run. Speaking of Bolts, playing the car feels like ice. Well, the track even feels like ice. To be fair, it is Japan. It might as well be ice at this point. As the sun sets over this track during qualifying. Taking a wide approach on the exit spoon there, Robbo. Go on board now on the run towards 130R. The end is set to 2. It's purple. Whether that's real or not, probably not. That's where I get proved wrong, as it goes with the final gate. So yeah, the car's really quite decent, tyres are keeping warm, but track feels like crap. Robbo goes 6th fastest. He's some 2/10 off Hilly, and Hilly's just been beat by Curse in the Alfa Romeo. He goes at the top of the time screens with the 1:27.9. We have Sniper Monkey on a lap in the other Alfa Romeo. He's going around the S's and into Dunlop Curve, where we've seen some rather shocking incidents, which will not be talked about. As continuing on into the two Degners, getting that quite spot on there. Now on the run towards the hairpin, you want to make sure you don't go too deep or onto the grass like Kvyat usually does. And it is a decent exit there, being able to put the power down gently without spinning the rears too much. Going into Spoon now, 5th gear for the first part, and then dropping it down to 4th as it tightens up on the run on the back straight here. And then you're completely flat, sticking to that inside for letting it run wide for the entry of 130R. Just getting flat out, nail the apex there. Little steering input to not shave off too much speed into the chicane here. And this looks like it could be a pretty competitive lap time here for Sniper Monkey. Let's see where it puts him on the timing screens. It puts him first as 27.7. Some 2/10, nearly 3/10 up on Curse there. So the two Alfa Romeos, I feel like we start saying this quite often nowadays. Two Alfa Romeos have secured the top of the spots here. So we'll continue on then. And see if we've got any other guys coming out. We've got Ollie Champ doing his first flying lap of the session. 7 minutes left on the clock. Fancy Dragon unfortunately out due to game glitches. And we've got spread out for I don't know what happened. So hopefully we might find out sooner or later. Ollie Champ goes 5th fastest for Williams. In a 28.5, nearly an entire second up on Spriggs at the moment. He finds himself down in 11th place. This might be another one of those tracks where it's damage limitation for Spriggs. He does have a few of them, but he can have pretty good pace as well. And here is the Pucker Pie man himself, Bolts, going round the S's, taking it steady. He is indeed round here. You don't want to get it wrong. You don't want to go wide here, especially into the gravel trap, as that's usually a one-way ticket to either the wall or getting stuck. Now into the Degners. It's looking at a very calm lap at the moment. We'll see what it does to the times, which will be interesting to see at the moment. Into the hairpin then. He's being very gentle on the throttle. Very gentle. Got good traction. It's good traction though, so let's see how that's affecting the time. As it goes into Spoon Curve, into 6th gear round there, which is interesting. Taking a little bit too much curb though on the inside of the exit Spoon. It's not going to do well for the time. But as we push on with Bolts, see what the time says. He's down by a 10th. So unless he can be able to attack the chicane, it looks like he's not going to be improving this lap. So we'll head over to Schmitty, who is up by 2/10 in the Red Bull. Schmitty's looking like he's having a much better time around this circuit compared to others, which is good to see. I think, you know, should be a good day. He can, in that Red Bull, he can get some good performances out there. Let's see where this will put him then as he comes across the line. It is an improvement. He lost a lot of time though through the final sector, and was only just under a tenth up. Keeps him in P9. Still like some 2 tenths to go. Commentator's curse on what? Hey, don't worry, boss. You're not in a Ferrari. You've got a safety net as Axel improves to go ahead of Curse into the 27.8s, but not quite quick enough to outplay Stamper Monkey, who sits at the top still. Spriggs is now also coming around through sector 1. Let's see if he is up on his time as we enter the two Degners. Yes, he's up by nearly 3 tenths. But he's going to need a lot more time than that as he goes very wide at Degner 2, and he's going to somehow get away with the track limits, which is an interesting conundrum. We've got yellow flags out in sector 1 as Dark Lord has crashed. He has crashed just before turn 2, and he is out of the qualifying session. Disaster already then for one of the Ferraris. Shock, and it's disaster for Spriggs, who goes so deep through Spoon there, ends up completely off on the gravel. So, not going well there at all. Bolton not improving. He looks like he's going into the pits actually. Sitting P12 with a 29.6. And it's only bolts back out on an out up. So yeah, get your airtime there, son. As everyone is coming back into the pits, waiting to do their final flying lap of the session. It looks like it's going to be an early one for Bolts, which means this is probably going to be his last shot at attempting to try and take pole position away. But he is quite a bit of a distance there. Got over a second to try and find there. So we'll see what happens. As he's preparing to start his final lap, we go on board with the McLaren. We've got a lot of cars coming out though, so he's going to have to worry about the traffic, and looks like the traffic is well behaved. The two Aston Martins are going quite slow, but no, the car's coming, so that is good already. Now through into turns 1 and 2, through the rest of the S's next. Let's see how he handles it this time. A little bit away from some of the apexes there, but we're back on track, keeping it in 6th gear all the way through, which is interesting. That's a new one for me. It's the first time I've seen that. Now through Dunlop, it's gone very well so far through here. Now into the first of the Dankners. We've got the rest of the traffic coming up. 4 tenths up on his time. That's very good. If he can find more time like that through sector 2 and 3, he could be on to challenge at the top here. Through Spoon we go. It's all looking very well in that McLaren so far. Traffic not being an issue at all, and now he's got a pretty clear track for the rest of the way towards the start finish line. Now into Spoon we go. Goes down to 6th gear and then right down to 4th to make sure he doesn't lose speed and acceleration. Now going up through the gears, keeping it as flat out as he can here. Most drivers are usually up for the higher downforce option, as speed isn't necessarily key around here, considering the layout of the track. Through the final corner, now across the line, where's it going to put him? He only managed to stay 4 tenths up, which only puts him up into P6 on a 28.5. We've got other drivers starting their final flying laps. Minute left on the clock. Everyone is out. The track is very, very busy, with people slowing down in the final sector to try and get their gaps. Just a reminder, it is drivers only. There is no team standings. So although I may sometimes refer to them as teammates, it's just simply because they're in the same car, not necessarily actual teammates. Such as when Hilly and Robbo were in the Alpine last time out in Canada. Not exactly teammates, but in the same car. And here we go then. into Spooker for NRT Curse. He's only got a little bit of distance. He gets a huge tank slapper there, and that could be curtains. How much has that affected the time? Oh, it probably has affected it a fair bit. He's only half a tenth up. Can he try and squeeze out as much as possible through this chicane? He's going to have to go all out attack. Checker flag is out. That is end of qualifying for France and Ollie Champ. France consistently starting at the back at the moment. Curse does improve but stays third fastest. We've got Hilly, who's going to be next across the line. He's entering the final chicane now. What can he do? Can he potentially take the pole position, as he's already got a huge visual advantage, but he's in the pits. Hilly is in the pits. It's the two Aston Martins that are going to be next across the line. First is going to be Atkins. It looks like there's a bit of an incident in the final corner, and it looks like Robbo may be involved. Robbo doesn't improve. Atkins is in P5. Boltzfoot drops down to P8. Schmitty is dropping down to P10, but is still out there on improvements. We also got the likes of Axel and Sniper Monkey. Axel looks like he may have actually bailed on this lap, so it could be Sniper Monkey's turn here to get a pole position in FPR1. Let's see what Schmitty can do, though. Schmitty's been looking fairly decent. Is he got time to get further up the order? Here he comes across the line. He does get back up into P11 with the 29 dead. Sniper Monkey's in the pits. Axel crosses the line and it's P2. So it's Sniper Monkey. He takes pole position here in Japan. A few mistakes on those final laps. Not many people improving. And it is not exactly the most ideal of situations for some of the drivers, such as Spriggs at the moment down in 10th. Just realised there's no camera roll actually. I didn't pick up on that fact. There's no camera roll. Pretty much sort of confirms that he's probably going to be eventually out of a outshot potential for the title here, as you miss a whole chunk of points. But it's points that potentially over Spriggs or Spread could pick up, but Spread's got a lot of work to do down in P14. So is Phantom Dragon all the way further down in 15th. Front starting at the back. No time on the board, but pole for Sniper Monkey, P2 for Axel, P3 for Curse. Your championship leader Hilly starting in 4th place. So let's see what happens here. We are just keeping an eye on chat just in case of a potential need for a lobby restart, which I believe it is, on the basis that we've had technical difficulties with Phantom Dragon being unfortunately forced out to be DQ'd, which is unfair because it's the game's fault and it doesn't allow him to have a setup. So here we're all for fairness, and that is why we have ourselves a little bit of a lobby restart, and also it means we try and avoid the usual glitches that is Codemasters and F1 games. Actually looks like the lobby was a hell of a lot more glitched out than what I thought. What I'm seeing here is different drivers saying they were on pole position. I think the lobby got extremely glitched out already, so I'll keep you updated on what the situation is, and I'll keep panicking, as we are to a time limit. I would have loved to have seen that, Bolts. I would have absolutely loved to have seen that. Just come out and car was flipped on its roof, apparently. I think your mechanics might have been a bit pissed up, mate. Judging by that one. You know. Don't trust them mechanics at McLaren if they're putting your car in upside down. They're not really sure to work out that well, in fairness. So just have to bear with us one moment whilst we sniper in the stands. Bear with us whilst we have our quick little intermission slash this is a bloody stupid F1 game glitch situation. It's typical, we expect it. I think everyone expects it. Everyone who's used to the game at least expects it. Everyone who's probably new here, sorry. but this happens quite often. Rather annoyingly. Thank you all for the invite, but I'm in. Think of seeing that invite, I forgot to put myself on a do not disturb. Giggity giggity. Giggity goo. Stick around. Right. So, but yeah, we go straight into the race, which is 53 laps. You're a bit late with it. You're a bit late. Oh yes, no, yep, that is very true. Don't forget your setups. Don't do that. That can go pretty bad. Especially around this track, I really recommend you don't forget yourself at this track. Holy mother of God, that is a bad idea. But driving with a default setup around this track is like driving a boat. Literal boat. It's a bit extreme, Bolts. Get the stuff to put you down. Alright, yeah, I've got to be my contact list. Don't worry, I'm gonna be my contacts. I got you covered on that one. Oh dear. That's you, right. Hopefully we'll have a better chance here. Things you'll have to say, F1 games and glitches. Honestly, name a better combination. I dare you to try. Because you ain't gonna find one. It's the Book Bye CEO. He's been defacing the brand. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say you're defacing it. Unless they're really bothered about your on-track performance, in which case, yeah, no, maybe. Though I'm mad at how many penalties he got last time. It's to a moment like that. That's the obviously we are just waiting for everyone coming in. Apparently CFC is apparently going to be a spectator. Interesting. You need a pit mechanic. Yeah, well, at some point your pit mechanic must have said, come into the pits, but, go upside down, go up this ramp, right? Back flipping thing. Because coming in, looks like we'll have a 16-car grid, I believe. Someone talking you through Canada's race? I'd sack 'em, mate. They did a terrible job. I had to wreck it to you. I used to do Jeffing, and now I'm doing Crofty's job. The special will be on the wheel. Will literally be. I actually took control of your car, that's what happened. Using my hacks and that. Right, yeah, I'm sure we'll just wait for grid to be set and then we'll be on our merry little way. Yeah, oh, I'll still be racing. You can join me. Catch me at live Tuesdays, 8 p.m. FPR100. I'd say the dream team. It's more the shite team of Alfa Romeo. Me and Mike fight for P14, P15 because that's literally the best you'll ever get out of us. That's just not even sorry. That's just truth, straight facts. If you want to watch any of my other commentating, you can catch me live on Thursdays from 8 p.m. or 8:15, depending if it's a sprint race or not. With FGR, it's Tier 1 division, which is rather hot and spicy at the moment. Here we go then. Just waiting for the last call. So what you saw with the actual qualifying results, that is the definite qualifying results. So that will be the starting grid order for the race, which will run down when we get back in the actual lobby, which it is, according to what Spread's cheeky already up there. It's go time! It is go time. Let's just quickly go back up there. I saw that comment. Oh, don't you worry. I definitely didn't forget what to say. Spice. The spice is right. The spice is absolutely right. I want spice in a pucker pie though. That'd be a bit weird. Like curry with chips and cheese. Ugh. Disgusting. Cheese don't belong in a curry. Rightio, here we go then, we are getting back on it, back in it I should say, not on it. Coming into the lobby then. I feel like this countdown is longer than 30 seconds, if you ask me. It feels much longer. So remember guys, don't ready up straight away, and don't forget your setups, because like I say, you're going to need them. You're definitely going to need them, otherwise you'll all be running into the gravel at Dunlop. I'm not gonna lie, you have no idea the temptations to make a rather poor-natured joke, which even saying that, everyone will probably know what I mean. We'll try our best. We'll try our best. Ladies and gentlemen, your PC player is still loading in. Clearly worth spending all that money. It's showing pretty well here. Just chatting shit. Rightio. Aww. We can't look at the crowd members, they're too much at the distance. They actually just look like they're painted on in the background. That's how low resolution they are. It literally just looks like blobs of paint. Was like the best bit. Instead, we can look at the marshals were oddly in sync. A lot of them are very oddly in sync, and I don't like it. That's somewhat terrifying. Also, why is there that many marshals in the pit lane? What is the need for all the marshals? The race isn't even going on. Why are they all there? There's there's not even any crowd members there. It's not even like you can't even use that as excuse as the stopping crowd. There's no, that's the pits. Like, literally pointless. Really annoying. Look at it, upside down car. Yeah, no, that's probably it. Right, yo then, your grid order of today's race. We have Sniper Monkey on pole position. Alongside him is Axel in the AlphaTauri. And then looking down the rest of the grid, we have Curse in P3, Hilly in P4, Atkins in P5, Robbo in P6, Ollie Champ 7th, Bolts 8th, Dystopian is 9th, Spriggs is 10th, Schmidty is 11th, Bolton in P12, Ferrari, the other Ferrari with Outlawed in 13th, Spread with a lot of work to do down in P14, Phantom Dragon is also going to have to work pretty hard as well in 15th, and then last but not very least we have Franz Piper rounding up the back of the grid in P16. A reminder that every position is points. And Bolts has got a hard on. As he says, he's trying something risky. I'm a child. I'm an absolute child. you heard me. You heard me. We'll gloss over that. Oh dear. Yeah, you have left your curtains open, mate. God's sake. I keep telling him to close them, but it's just there. It's there all the time. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus, what? This is we're off to a good start, aren't we? Hey. Yeah, no, Jesus is not here. It's a shame. Only Zest. The Spice Man isn't here. He isn't cooking today. He ain't cooking. Generally, it's probably one of the tracks where I thought Jesus might just do one of his Qatar style races and just come from the back of the grid to win. Well, Bolts, let's see if you can cook them. Let's see if you can cook. If you are the chef, prove it. Right. We'll be going very shortly. I've been making sure everyone's got the setups on and done their shits and wheeze and what have you. And everyone's hyping up the crowd, as you can tell by the clear amount of movement. And here we go then. We have the formation lap. We are underway with the formation lap here at the Japanese Grand Prix. This is going to be led by Sniper Monkey. We're going to have a quick run through of what the last tyre decisions were at the end. We've got a mix of softs and mediums, and then Bolts who's gone hard. We've got both Sniper Monkey and Axel, Hilly, Ollie Champ, Dystopian, Bolton, Outlawed, Spread and Phantom all opting to go on the soft compound tyres, which is interesting. They're going to get the better grip at the start, looking to go aggressive in order to help them maintain P1. And looking around, we also have Curse, Atkins, Robbo, Spriggs, Schmidty and Franz opting to go on the medium compound tyres. Let's see how that affects Kurz at the start on those mediums. And we'll also have to keep an eye on the progress that Bolts makes, especially on those hard tyres. They're going to potentially struggle right at the start. Let's see if he can maintain P8, or even if he can somehow itch another couple of positions. Sorry, just typing as well, because when man account multitasking is very much impossible. Everyone knows that. Also, we are prepared to actually be able to do an interview with everyone this time. We do actually have the voice channel set up in Discord to be able to get everyone in, and it also makes my life easier for audio reasons. It's a lot easier to control rather than Xbox, but I do tend to notice it does have its own sort of problems. But it is what it is. Oh, Hilly's missed his parking spot. That's not going to go very well, but luckily he's got softs to try and recover those positions. Wait for the last of the drivers to line up on the grid. We have got 53 laps of racing coming up. Don't go anywhere, it's going to be a blast then. Here we go, waiting for the start light sequence. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's a long hold as it's lights out, and away we go here. We are green racing at Japan, and immediately getting a load of cars in the back getting squirreled with each other. Axel's going to try and challenge down the inside, but it's immediately being cut off straight away by Lex the Sniper Monkey. He knows what to do, he knows where to place the car further in the background. The Aston Martin of Atkins trying to make the position on the Williams there straight away. He's had a pretty good start further behind. Everyone's been pretty calm. Bolts losing a couple of positions as per no surprise, starting on those hard tyres. They will struggle with grip. Further back it was almost looking like Schmidty and Bolts going side by side. In fact they are going to go side by side in towards the Degner as we have contact. Schmidty is round in the first Degner. That was inevitable. You just can't go side by side through there. It never works out. Franz making moves. He's up into P14. I think that might be nearly the highest position we've ever seen him in off the start. Continuing on then, we've got Spread and Bolts now having a bit of a battle going into Spoon Curve. He's going to utilise that higher speed in the Alpine and get through, but he will be under pressure on the run towards 130R, especially going wide like that. It's not exactly ideal. Further up ahead, here comes Ollie Chubb round the outside in 130R on the Aston Martin there. That's lovely stuff. And down the inside on Hilly. Hilly's gone off the track. He's had to cut the chicane and he's going to lose a handful of positions there. Tried to make the move on Curse. It's backfired. Across the line, Sniper Monkey still leads them, but they are going to now be battling. It's Hilly and Atkins nearly going side by side into turn 1, but up ahead it's Ollie Champ trying to make a move. And he's off! He's off into the gravel and he's just avoided a severe contact with the wall there. It is already kicking off across the field. Yellow flags all around because the game's a little bit glitchy like that, but we're all good and green and racing. Hilly back up now to P4. Looks like Curse is getting involved in the wars today. Opportunistic moves. Like I say, that Degner one was never going to work out side by side. Just it really doesn't go. It is way too difficult to fit two cars side by side through there, especially at that speed, and how tight that is. In the background, Phantom Dragon going to try it the long way round the outside into the hairpin, but there's contact and round goes Bolts. He's in the wall, but did he manage to keep that front wing intact? Yes, he has. So, disaster for Bolts, drops down all the way to 16th and a little bit away now from the pack, but he's on those hards. He'll be going that much longer in the race. He's unfolding in a pretty poor way. What we can also see is on board with Spriggs as he gets very close to the back of Robert Snopes. Actually, he's going to look to potentially chance. He's going to go down the inside later on the brakes. Robert's going to fight this one. He's going to try and do the switchback manoeuvre. It hasn't worked. Spread's now trying to get involved, sniffing what Spriggs had for dinner. And now here they all come on the start-finish straight. DRS now enabled. Spriggs goes through. Now Spread also goes through. So Robert losing 2 positions on that start-finish straight alone. Looks like the straight line speed advantage from them two is proving to be very beneficial compared to a higher downforce setup potentially, or either that or the Mercedes engine being slow, which I mean it is pretty slow. I think everyone knows that really. Out in front then, we have Sniper Monkey leading, just trying to hit that boundaries of breaking the 1 second marker to pull out of the DRS. And he's using that battery pretty often as well. It is really close to say if they will be able to get the DRS by the time it comes to start finish straight. Not exactly the most crucial thing though, as that is a small DRS zone. It is not that powerful at this track and not really that effective either. It is more about the slipstream and how well you're able to take, well, sector 1 really. That's sort of the area that you gain and lose time. Bolton is going to be the first one to pick up the time penalty for the session. That's not going to go well if he picks him up at that type of rate. It's lap 3. It's pretty much nearly a warning a lap, that. Definitely don't want to be doing that. Especially throughout the race as the 2 Ferraris are getting racy there. That's Dark Lord on Bolton, and that Dark Lord's going to zoom right through with ease, utilising the DRS. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the DRS is powerful. I have been known to be quite wrong in nearly every single stance you can actually think of. We'll gloss over that. We'll quickly just gloss over that. They don't need to know. They don't need to know. So at the moment, soft runners pulling away a bit here from the medium runner of Curse. Oh no, Snapper Monkey really now extending his lead. 2.3 seconds it now stands at. It is looking good for the Alfa Romeo driver out at front. Meanwhile, we've got a bit of a slight small train, a 4-car battle here for P3 at the moment, with Hilly just maintaining an 8/10 gap as we've got yellow flags. It's Bolts. Bolts is round at the final Degner there. It's really unfolding quite poorly at the moment. Those hard tyres simply not sitting comfortable. That could be some very informative information for the rest of the drivers. They might be looking at that thinking, right, do we go for the hards or do we stick to these soft and medium compound tyres? I suspect it's probably going to be a 2-stop race, as per the amount of corners that is at this track. Continuing on then, Spread is gaining on the back of this Stopin, but he's just outside that 1 second marker. The 2 Ferraris are swapping positions again, going into turn 1 on the old timing screen there. I think they might be doing that quite often in order to try and catch back up, but if you like, so Spriggs and Spread get onto the back of this train for P3, it sort of becomes a, well, it's like a 10+ car battle for the lead, and Bolton is out of the race. He is out at Dunlop. He is the first one to be claimed as the chap checks the Ferrari for a quick moment. Safety car is deployed then. Right, interesting. So Bolton is going to take this opportunity to get off of them hards and switch on to a medium tyre. And since he's at the back, you know, it's a free pit stop and it's a free way of getting off to a different compound. So now he can do whatever strategy he wants now to the end. Doesn't really have to visit them hard tyres again. He can go on any tyre, any sort of strategy. What will the others do though? 4 laps in. It's not exactly a very long time, so we'll have to see. Will the soft runners pit? Will medium runners pit? It's going to be interesting. I don't quite remember the strategy off by heart round here, but let's find out. Snapper Monkey will go past the pit lane, so will Axel, And so will the rest of the grid by the looks of things. Oh, well, I say that. Into the pits for Hilly, Dystopian and Spreads. It looks like Alpine are going to be in a bit of a double stack situation. Robbo stayed out. So did Spriggs and Atkins. Who else came to the pits in the background? That was Phantom Dragon. The Dragon has also come into the pits. They're all fitting on medium tyres. Schmidty's also coming into the pits from medium tyres himself. Interesting. Let's see what compound he's going to be putting on. It is the hards. Oh, right. He's switching onto the hard compound tyre. We saw that the McLaren was definitely struggling with them hards. Plus, he did have them spins, so the rears might have been a bit hot as well. The rear's not exactly well controlled at this track, especially under the high fuel situation. So, safety car is deployed then, as Bolt's picked up a 3-second time penalty under the safety car. That's not exactly ideal. So, under safety car then, no overtaking is permitted. The other drivers will have to stick within a 10 car length of each other, unless you're catching at the safety car, in which case you're free to do that at your own pace, in order for everyone to be grouped up again. So Snapper Monkey's early lead is completely wiped out really here with the safety car, but they opted to stay out, unlike the likes of Hilly, Dystopian, Phantom Dragon and Spread, all opted to change tyres, and they were all on, I believe, softs. I think. Let's double check that. We've got time to do that. Let's head to the race director. Yep, I am correct. So they have all gone onto all those appear have gone onto a different compound of tyres. So again, that frees up their remaining pit strategy for the rest of the race then. But it is an early stop. It is very much an early stop, and it sort of puts them into the back of some traffic. Franz Piper up into P8 at the moment. Not really much point in looking at position changes, as we've got drivers that have pit in this race. So this right here for Bolts means that he is back in with a chance to get up some more positions. He's got pace, you know, he can probably get a decent top 10 finish out of this one. He needs to keep his nose clean now, and like I say, he's got off them hard tyres, so he doesn't have to use them. In fairness, the rest of the drivers don't have to use them either, but they might do it in order to try and stretch a one stop. Could be possible, you know, it could be possible. You know, safety car's definitely going to help this. I'd imagine it'll be in this lap by any chance. The Aston Martin safety car this time round. According to the drivers, the slower safety car. Which, in fairness, yeah, probably. It is Aston. So, yes, everything all calm for now. Well, it's interesting to see how the fresher tyres compare to slightly older tyres by some 5 laps. It's not a huge difference, but it might be a bit of a thing. It all depends. If the slightly more rubbered-in tyres heat up probably a bit quicker than the fresh rubber on the guys behind. Safety car in this lap, like I say, it's usually a pretty late call-in because of how small Sector 3 is. So you have that concertina effect that sort of happens here, which is, yeah, by game's design. So by the time they cross, there's no overtaking until the start-finish line. It all depends on when Snapper Monkey decides to drop it. You can see Axel is very keen to get underway, but that might have cost him a bit there. He almost got a little bit too keen. So it's a fairly decent restart there by Sniper Monkey. It's caught a lot of guys off a bit off course. So further back, Axel had to go almost look a little bit defensive-wise from Curse behind, but everyone's sort of got away quite nicely here. It's sort of one big conga line. If only there was like a wide shot from away from like the end of the S's, it would look pretty cool conga line that. So Snap Monkey has got to get it again. He's got to get the gap out. The DRS will be obviously deactivated for the next couple of laps, as per a safety car restart. Further back, we've got Bolts getting ahead of Schmidty before the hairpin, and just up ahead, that's Spread and Phantom Dragon having a little bit of a battle. Franz Piper doing quite well to hold off as well, and not slightly too far behind. Franz Piper looking to be in pretty decent pace at the moment, as Hilly is under pressure from Phantom Dragon, goes wide. Spoon has a back end moment to put the icing on the cake. As I say that, wide goes Franz and the exit of Spoon, and it's going to be a huge concertina effect with the rest of them going up towards 130R. That's side by side in the background there with the Spread in the Alpine and Franz on off in the Red Bull, but that's going to continue all the way through to the chicane. Gets in a little bit argy-bargy there, but Spread will get through up into P12. That sort of incident kind of made it easier for ooh, Schmidty is out. Crikey, what's happened there? He's crashed at the fast. Has he crashed into the pits? It's a very unusual place to lose it. And that's another safety car. Right. Now this puts the I'd tell you, this puts pressure on the likes of Downlord, Ollie Champ, Snap Monkey and Axel are still on them softs. Because, you know, they haven't had the chance to pull away. So if they pit, they are behind the likes of Dystopian Hilly, Phantom and Spread, and it same goes for Curse, Atkins, Spriggs and Robbo, who are on the mediums. You know, they've also got to think what to do here, because that's the second safety car in the space of a couple of laps. This could be curtains here. Could be curtains. If any of those guys pits, they are behind these lot. Well, Bolts, what have you done? What have you done? Schmidty looked like to have decent pace. Same for the other Red Bull as well. The other Red Bull went wide at the end of Spoon. And right, hang on, quick see here. What happens to these two? Are they going to come into the pits? They are. Well, yeah, both of them are. The rest of them, Curse comes in, Spriggs stays out, Robbo comes in, and the Robbo actually stays out as well. Right, interesting. Darklord and Ollie Champ as well are staying out as well. That's... The medium runners I understand a bit more with them staying out, but those soft runners, I don't... That's a risk. That is a risk. So Spriggs inherits the lead, and Sniper Monkey, Curse, Axel, Atkins, they're going to be kicking themselves. Atkins is going to the hard compound tyres, interestingly. Again, another person who was on hards has ended up out of this race. It's... no, not to put any sort of curse or anything, but it doesn't look great if you're on the hard tyres at the moment. We've, you know, Bolts was on them, he went a bit backwards, he's gone on to mediums, he's in B10. Bear in mind that's a lot of people who pitted, but he didn't exactly go backwards either. Schmidt went onto the hards, he's out of the race. I'm sure Atkins will be fine. I'm sure he'll be right. I'm sure he's good. You know, I'm sure it's spick and span. I feel like I might get shouted at by someone if I do that again. Oh, I'm playing with fire on this one. I'm absolutely playing with fire. So back onto the safety car then. In fairness, we originally, and for all these previous streams, I originally said it's usually about four safety cars and 4 virtuals. That's clearly not the case. We definitely got more than 4 virtuals at the last week's race. So, could be wrong. But it's our second safety car, nevertheless. Go around for the remaining of this. It'll be in this lap, as in terms of the game, it just needs to be able to complete at least 1 lap with the drivers behind it, 1 lap of the circuit, and have all the drivers within the queue, which can tick both of the boxes, so it'll be in this lap. That's how you can tell when a safety car is going to be in. And I think they also have to be near each other by the time to get towards the end of Sector 2. If they're not, then the safety car will continue on for another lap. I think that's how it works. Or at least it seems like that in the game. So we've lost from this race Bolton and Schmidty, both due to crashes. Bolton and Dunlop, and Schmidty in the final corner. The bottle drop is indeed the word to describe it. So, it's lap 11 out of 53. We've got the likes of Spriggs, Robbo, Dart Lord and Ollie Champ, who have yet to pit in this race. So is Franz as well. Franz is yet to pit, running in P9 at the moment for the last remaining Red Bull. The rest sorry, we've got the likes of Dystopian, Hilly, Phantom and Spread, Bolts, who pitted under the first safety car, and we've got Snapper Monkey, Axel Atkins and Curse, who pitted under this very safety car, which is now in this lap. So it is down to Spriggs to do the race restart this time. And I think the guys are going to have to be a bit wary now. 10 lap old tyres compared to the 5 lap and the fresh ones. Spriggs has got a fantastic restart. Has absolutely caught Robbo napping for absolute dead there. He's very much caught napping. I think King was count that as a deep sleep. So underway again. It sort of starts off in this single file motion here through the first part, as per the nature of this track really, but Dystopian has already made his move on Ollie Champ. Ollie Champ is under a lot of pressure, and Healy tries to have a look, but it's going to be Phantom Dragon who goes right round the outside through Dunlop. Wide goes Ollie Champ onto the gravel. That allows Phantom Dragon to go through as well, and they're all going to get quite concerted up. Both the Alpines very racy here. They're getting very close, as Ollie Champ has got absolute zero grip on those tires compared to the rest. It's going to be down the inside for Spread. They almost make it 3 wide. Who gets the better traction out of the hairpin? It is Hilly by a country mile with that wider line. It is much better in terms of traction. Hint, hint, everyone else on the driver's side. They all are getting very battle. It's again Spread having a look as he's caught up behind the very slow moving Williams, and this is going to get interesting. Heading through to 130R here. Hilly could be ahead of Ollie Champ as we cannot get a decent camera angle to save our lives. They're side by side going into the chicane. Round the outside for Hilly, who takes the inside line. He's got the grip to get the power down. He is momentarily through as diving into the pits. Ollie Champ has just realised the mistake of staying out on them softs, and that is going to hurt. This time though, its Spread is going to go down the inside into turn 1. It's much braver and later on the brakes with huge confidence. We've got Bolts and Sniper Monkey having a bit of a ding dong as well, as Sniper Monkey is through to P8. fresher tyres definitely seem to be the way to go. We've got Franz who got very close to the back of that McLaren, but has lost a lot of momentum as Axel and Kurz find themselves held up behind the Red Bull. Further up ahead, we've got the Dystopian all over the back of Dark Lord, who's going to have to become a bit of a blockade for the likes of Robbo and Spriggs, who've stayed out as well, but they stayed out on the mediums. Them softs definitely weren't working at all. Medium tyres for Ollie Champ then, as here comes the Mercedes, but loses a lot of straight line speed in the process. Spriggs gets out of the 1 second gap, which could be crucial. He has to try and extend his lead as much as possible here, as these guys on the fresh tyres are literally flying through the field. As immediately catching up now, spread ahead of Hilly, and Axel is past Franz. You'll get once again very close in the chicane. We're going to look back as Franz is under a lot of pressure. DRS is now re-enabled. Spread sets the fastest lap at 1:32.0, and here comes Phantom Dragon having a look at the back of Dystopian, as it sort of backs off a little bit as he can't quite find a way past the Ferrari. Meanwhile, France has lost another position, drops down now to P12. So one more car, and then he's sort of at the back of this huge train. Is back into the pits again for Ollie Champ as he retires in the pits. Oh no, why? You get points. You get points. Finishing. Aye, aye, aye. Right, continuing on, Stat Lord is doing God's work for the likes of Robbo and Spriggs, as he's literally become Gandalf with his bloody wand, you shall not pass style. As again, Dystopian is trying to look for a way but just cannot get the straight line speed he needs compared to that Ferrari. Further back, Curson bolts are switching positions, then even fresher tyres from the second safety car is helping out big time. Meanwhile, a huge yellow flag zone, which is courtesy of poor quality control from Codemasters. We love to shit on this game, don't we? Fran's now running in last, which is P13. As Dystopian is going to try and utilise that DRS this time. Huge lot of DRS trains. Dark Lord has also got it to help him along, which means he's struggling to catch him on that straight. Further back, Snapper Monkey goes ahead of Hilly, and Hilly drops down to P8 whilst Robbo runs in P2, but they are still within that train. Dystopian nearly finding a way through, as both Phantom Dragon and Spread have joined upon this battle, as they're so held up by this Ferrari. They really can't find a way past. He's practically pushing him around some of these corners, but he just can't get alongside. Can't get the speed. Dark Lord is doing an absolute fantastic job on them old soft tyres. Defensive is not even defensive mass class, it's just knowing where to deploy, what to do. I tell you what, this could be his best chance though, this Dystopian. He's only within 1/10, but he's losing time. I think at this point, Dystopian might have to consider an entire battery dump to try and get ahead of that Ferrari. He's utilising some energy there, and he's tucking right into the gearbox of that Ferrari. We're going to go through 130R, and is he going to try and send it on him down the chicane? He has a look, but again, just not quite close enough. But it's a fairly poor exit from the Ferrari, but he's backed up the Mercedes into the likes of Phantom Dragon, as now Phantom Dragon's going to try and look to make the overtake. Spread is there in the background as well. Here he comes, Phantom Dragon down the inside into turn 1. They're side by side. They make a little bit of wheel banging contact, but again, the Dystopian is determined to try and stay ahead. They're going to run side by side through some of the S's here, but through goes Phantom Dragon, and now Spread has been able to take advantage of the mistake there from the Mercedes. Spread goes through ahead of Dystopian. He's lost 2 places in a matter of a few corners. Whilst trying to make the move on the Ferrari, he's utilised the poor exit and stop them all from getting through, but at the moment they're all still within DRS of each other. It's a whole entire 12 car train for P1 as round the outside of the hairpin Phantom Dragon goes, and he gets through on Dark Lord, who finally loses a position. After all that time, he has done an absolute sterling job in defence. It's unbelievable scenes. He is a literal roadblock. Genuine rolling roadblock here. Everyone's still trying to find a way past. He's got nearly no energy left whatsoever. He's desperate to try and do something in order to recover. He's hoping for a safety car now. He's going to be literally on his knees begging here as they go into the chicane. Again, he's forced to take a deeper line than he would really need to, and that might just be a tyre struggle as here comes Spread now with the DRS assistance, and further up ahead Robbo's getting passed by Phantom Dragon. He moves up to P2. Spread on the other hand hasn't quite been able to get through on Dark Lord. He tries around through to turn 2 and into the rest of the S's here, but again Dark Lord holds them off. How is this man doing this? I don't even know now. And this is going to be absolutely mega frustrating for the likes of the drivers as Curse goes off into the gravel through Dunlop and has lost a whole heap of positions. Meanwhile, Spread has finally made a move and the Ferrari's off, and there's huge contact between Sniper Monkey and Dark Lord as he loses all traction. And that is the front wing of the Alfa Romeo completely gone. A bit of damage on the Ferrari too, I believe. And it is all turned upside down for the man who was doing a brilliant job. Oh dear me. It all went wrong. Spread must have made his way through either through Dunlop or the Degners, and it's put the Ferrari a little bit off track and in the mud. And Sniper Monkey has just been on the unfortunate receiving end. Both the Alfa Romeos now down to B11, B12. This side of P1 and B3 in this race. Sniper Monkey had pole position and now he has to pit to repair that front wing. But here comes Spread on the back of Robbo. Snipes to get P3. Phantom Dragon leads from Spriggs, who's now slipping behind as well. With these quicker guys that have finally managed to get ahead of Dark Lord. Dark Lord going on to more medium compound tyres now, making his first stop in the race. Sniper Monkey repairing that front wing and going on to soft compound tyres. Interesting choice. All this has happened. Dystopian is... Dystopian's going to be furious that he couldn't get past that Ferrari up until the mistakes. He's going to be absolutely furious. Because he's lost now a lot of time. He could have potentially been in a net P1 if he managed to find a way through, but here they go. Robbo losing that position as round the outside goes Dystopian to take P4, and immediately arriving on scene, it's the championship leader. We go on board then with Hilly, the two title rivals on track together, and this is fighting for position. One driver yet to stop, the other has made a pit stop, only 5 lap fresher out of the tyres, so it's not exactly going to be the hugest difference. Meanwhile, you've got Axel Atkins on even fresher tyres in the background, who have now arrived on scene as well. A little bit of an early break. Meanwhile, Spriggs has now been passed by Spread. Spread goes up into P2. He's got a bit of a way to go as Spriggs dives into the pits understandably. He's had enough of them tyres and he is now in the pits. Meanwhile, it is Hilly who's going to go down the inside. He doesn't need the brakes there as he's already ahead before turn 1. Hilly then overtakes Robbo. Robbo will be a little bit annoyed to see that one. It's a gamble in terms of the strategy there. And in fairness, while Dark Lord was still in there, it was paying off slightly. But now it seems to be slowly backfiring. He's now got the like of Atkins and Axel up his chuff. as Axel's going to go through before the hairpin. The Aston Martin's going to try and have a look round here, but he's going to have to try and get a mega exit, which he kind of almost has, and now Robbo is sinking down the order here. And dare I say, he might follow on from Spriggs' pit stop and come in himself. Spriggs went onto the medium compound tyres. Curse has pitted onto some hard compound tyres. The Alfa Romeos are well and truly in the mud at this point, but they are still going strong. Meanwhile, here comes Dystopia. He's going to have a look down the inside through 130R. Again, I told you your C moves happen here. Hasn't quite been able to pull it off just yet. Later on the brakes for Dystopian as he gets round the outside through the final chicane, and he doesn't have the DRS. He's going to have to now go very defensive from the spread behind. He took it in as much as... I think both of them did get DRS there. Hang on, that don't make sense. Spread has a look round the outside, couldn't quite get alongside enough, and has to settle down for P3. Great stuff there from Dystopian fans himself, running in P2. Fantastic job there from the Mercedes. Further behind, go on board then with Axel as he looks to try and make his way through the field now as well. Snapper Monkey at 131.2. Expected his quickest as he's on the soft compound tyres and the relatively very fresh tyres as well. Robert Pitts is car P9, just ahead of the Red Bull of France, who is running in the soft tyres in P10. And Dartmoor is slowly approaching them as well. So Axel looking to try and make his way past Hilly here. And big gaps as Curse has gone round. Curse is round again at Dunlop, and he's on the hard tyres. Although saying that, Atkins is not doing it too bad on them hard tyres. That's brand new hards that haven't gripped up, and he's gone round. Interesting. As Dystopian's off! Dystopian is off round the final corner and is down all the way in 7th. As back through for Spread. Hilly now running in 3rd place. There's drama happening absolutely everywhere on this track. And at the moment it's looking very good now for our championship leader. Hilly stands now in P3, closest rival Robbo down in P9. Let's see then how this unfolds as Axel's still very, very close to the back of the Alpine, and also getting rather close is Atkins under braking. He gets very close under the brakes here. Is he going to have a look into the hairpin? No, not quite. So Hilly has nearly managed to crawl back into the DRS of Spread. This could help him very much in terms of his defence against Axel. Meanwhile, Phantom Dragon now leads with a lovely 2.4 second gap. It is fairly unchallenged at the moment, and it's a steady gap. It's steadily increasing, to say the least, but here comes Axel again. He gets very close towards the end of the chicane, but not enough to really make a lunge down the inside just yet. All depends on the exit, but now Hilly got the DRS on the back of Spread. But it's a very good exit for Axel. He's going to be able to get through with the straight line speed down the inside. Doesn't even need the corner. He is through and up into P3. Franz Piper has been overtaken by Dartward, who is now going to be helped along by Robbo just up ahead as they try and close the gap to the cars ahead. Which it is closing. It is closing pretty quick. Like I say, the fresher tyres are absolutely immense, the pace difference. And now Hilly becomes under pressure from Atkins, and Bolts is joining on this one as well, but Bolts does have that 3-second time penalty, which could affect his results. Seems to be almost a common phase here. penalties and the end results getting affected by how all that plays out in the end. So, still a huge battle going on for P2, as this time Axel's trying to mount the challenge on Spread. Spread utilising his energy as much as he can early on, but he has he got a much better exit than the AlphaTauri there, but I don't think it's enough. Look at the sheer overspeed he has, and he through. Then Axel goes into P2, currently in AlphaTauri 1-2 then. Used to be an Alfa Romeo 1-2, but now it's an AlphaTauri 1-2, or what will soon become Racing Bulls or whatever crappy name they picked. You know, just to make it obvious that they are the sister team, or just another Red Bull team in general, really. Racing Bulls, what a I don't know one. Clearly the fashion brand really just didn't go well at all. They may have had some style, which in fairness, by the standard of how they count this in the last season, I wouldn't necessarily call that style. Not really at all. Spread is still very much maintaining his position on the back of Axel here. Could potentially have a chance to overtake here. Let's see what happens then with the DRS. Not going to be using any of his battery because he doesn't really have a ball to play with, but here he comes. He's going to pull out to go looking down the inside. He's still there, battling away. Is he going to find the grip? He almost has, but Axel's just going to scare that, but they make a little bit of contact. That got a bit close for comfort there. Meanwhile, that bit of battling is going to help Phantom Dragon extend his lead, as he sort of struggled to pull away anymore. He's sort of stayed at the 2.4 moment. Meanwhile, Atkins is through on Hilly. Hilly might have just got a little bit out of shape through the end of the S's there. And at the moment, in terms of the rest of the gap, we're actually going to do something I don't usually do and switch to the leader gap. At the moment, Robbo sits 23 seconds behind Phantom Dragon. He's getting closer and closer to being nearly within the pit window area. Spriggs is another one who's pitted some 5 laps ago. He's well and truly within pit window of the leader, with only 15 seconds sort of being the gap. So we'll keep an eye on that one as we approach 18 laps for the likes of Phantom, Spread and Hilly, and you can really see the effects it's having, because like I say, at the moment Axel is now gaining time. So with Spread battling there, that sort of did Phantom an absolute solid, but with Axel gaining time, he's pulling along all the rest of the guys behind, and they're all closing in. And you've also got the likes of Dystopian, Spriggs closing in, Sample Monkey, Robbo and Dartlaw. They're all going to be within that pit window very quickly, and most of them already are. And we've got yellow flags as Dartlaw is out. There's been a bit of contact there. It does involve the Red Bull, and that is down on the exit of turn 1. Dartlaw is out of this race. We're down to 12 runners, and we've got our 3rd safety car. At this rate, all the pit stops are going to be done under safety car. Now let's see what happens with the likes of Spriggs, Snapper Monkey and Robbo. Again, they've kind of been cucked a little bit with an early safety car. They've not done too many laps, but those were on 19, 15 and 20 odd laps tyres, these are all going to come into the pits. There'll be no point in them staying out. It'd just be pointless. And in fairness, that lot being out, that's a shame. Even with the mistake in the Degners, he was, if he had a decent finish position in the end, he was definitely a potential shout for driver of the day just by sheer defensive performance. So shout out to Dartward. That was a great defensive performance earlier on. And understandably into the pits for all of these guys out in front. I'm going to stay with Spriggs as he's the latest of those that already has pitted not too long ago. Does he come in? No, he stays out. Is Sniper Monkey going to come in this time? He's on them soft tyres? I'd imagine he is. Yes, well, what is Robbo going to do? Robbo is also going to follow through with the pit stop. I'd imagine Franz is obviously going to probably pit here. And yep, is Curse going to come off them cursed hard tyres? I've been told by the computer that I am low on storage space. I'm not surprised, there's a lot of videos on there. And not what you're thinking. So Spriggs is the only driver then to stay out on track. He managed to beat Phantom Dragon out just. And leads the Grand Prix again. And again he's going to be on the older tyres. Everyone is going to be on much fresher rubber. Spriggs is going to be praying for some more safety cars, which at this rate I don't blame him for doing so. We're getting a fair few, to say the least. Hilly runs 8th, Robbo runs 10th. They are both on the same compound tyre, same tyre age. It is now a well and truly battle on between them two. So we'll keep an eye on them, their progress, and if they get involved in any little bit of action. Meanwhile, Curse and Sniper Monkey have come back into this race with this safety car. They're both having experienced some issues. Sniper Monkey was running at one point without a front wing. And Spread, Phantom and Axel, I'll tell you what, these three are definitely going to give us a bit of a battle. We've seen it all before throughout most of this season. They will battle, and they will battle hard. Is Spread going to take his same approach of burning the battery as soon as possible? Probably. That tends to be what happens. So, safety car has now completed its one necessary lap it needs. Most of the field is nearly caught up. We just wait for Franz and Curse, which they'll catch up this lap easy, so it will be in this lap. We're on lap 27 out of 53. We're by the time this race restarts, we're going to be pretty much at the halfway point of this race. So it's pretty much, apart from Spriggs, it's like we've started a 50% race. And to be fair, mediums and hards is probably the tyres you choose for a 50% race around Japan. So it pretty much makes sense, this, really. By the way, if you were wondering why Jesus isn't here, he slept in. He's actually slept in. So, just looking in at what happened then with Schmidt, he's saying he went in too hard on one turn, and he misjudged the final corner with Spread, and powered into the pit wall. Ah, he did hit the pit wall then, yes. Quick few our on-track responses, really, isn't it? Alright then. So it's good to be Spriggs again. He will lead the next safety car restart. I'm comfortably assuming it is going to be in this lap here. As we've still got a long way to go. And probably one more pit stop from at least everyone here. maybe 2 for Spriggs, not gonna lie. He's already on 8 laps on these current set of tyres. He's got a long way to go. Another 20 odd laps here. Anyway, he has gone. It's another decent restart, not as good as his last one, but it's a decent one. Meanwhile, Axel's got a very good restart and is right up behind Spread, but as I've said in the past 2 restarts, nature of this track, we don't really usually see some immediate overtakes unless there's like a mistake of someone going wide or something. But we are green flag racing once again then. Here we have Spriggs is going to be immediately under a hell of a lot of pressure here from all those behind. He is on much older mediums compared to brand new mediums and brand new hards. It's about to get very leery indeed here. So, for the meantime, he goes into the hairpin ahead, but let's see on board with a Phantom Dragon the type of exits he's getting as France and Kurse just in the background there, swap positions. Kurse goes ahead into P11. Dystopian getting very close to the back of Bolts, the only driver yet to still be the only driver on a penalty at the moment. Everyone's doing quite well with their penalties actually. That's touch wood that stays like that. That's wood. Accidentally touch something else. Here we go then. Here is Spread and Phantom. So Spriggs has survived 1 lap, but this is where he's going to be under a lot of pressure. Immediately going defensive from absolutely all of them, trying to break the slipstream. Everyone following through, utilising nearly half of his battery already as he holds them off. Again, Robbo now going down to P11. He's been passed by Kurse into turn 1. And we'll be seeing the back shot there of the Williams just how much more he's able to work his car compared to the rest of them. And to be fair, Phantom Dragon at this point, he's not going to be sitting uncomfortable like that. He's going to be pretty fine where he is at the moment. That uncomfortability only sets in when the other drivers behind start attacking, start picking on where they're going quite slow, which in fairness, Phantom Dragon has had a pretty poor exit out of the hairpin, and this has allowed Spread to get very close, but pulls away on the run towards Spoon. This is giving Spriggs a bit of a break though. Is Spread going to mount an attack? He's got a lot of battery, which is rare to see. Like, very rare. This is like a blue fucking rare state. So Spriggs going to hold off for a 2nd lap, but he could be at more risk by the time the next come round, as DRS is now enabled. Spread getting a huge wiggle on, going very wide on the final corner as they make their run towards turn 1. Spriggs is safer now, but he will have to worry about that start finish straight next time round, as they will have the DRS. And well, me thinking it didn't give too much speed, it'll give them enough to make the amount of the attackers. You can see how much more grip, how much closer the guys behind are being able to run. But here we go then. Spread really trying to find his way through. He's starting to apply the pressure on Phantom Dragon again. Phantom Dragon is using a lot of ERS though, and comparing that to Spread, who's barely touched it. This could be a huge problem for Phantom Dragon. Spriggs is able to get good exits out of some necessary key corners like the hairpin, which is usually where you see a lot of the moves. Here comes Dystopian again, very close to the back of Bolts, but not quite close enough to make a lunge into Spoon Curve. 2 Alfa Romeos are also running very close as Robbo and Franz drop back massively. This time Hilly now is going to make the overtake on Dystopian though, as through before 130R. Further back, Phantom Dragon getting very close now, and this is his time. He's got a good exit here, and he's right all over the back of Spriggs. Spriggs has not got a lot to play with, and saying that, both AlphaTauris are looking to make moves as Axel's going to look to go down the inside. It's yellow flags for France for the final corner. Spread and Axel nearly went side by side, but Spread has held that one off. And now Phantom Dragon needs to absolutely book it through the rest of this sector to raise probably best chance of gaining a lot of speed. Meanwhile, the Dystopian has had an off-track excursion as he's off in the gravel through the S's, and he's lost a whole gaggle of positions as the two Alpha males are again finding themselves bogged down a bit from that incident. Here comes Spread on Spriggs. Spread needs to make his move now. He needs to make it now so he doesn't lose too much time to Phantom Dragon. He's already got a 1 second gap ahead of Spriggs, who is closing in though upon the straights, but as we get to the corners you can just tell he's struggling so much more to carry the speed he really needs. Going on board with the Alpine then as they make their run towards 130R. Flat out completely, even through there you can see how much more struggled that Williams is. So he's going to wait to do it with the DRS then. Does Spriggs pick it up? Absolutely not. He's not within the 1 second marker, and this should be a done deal by Master Spread as Dystopian comes into the pits. An early pit stop with the errors. You can go to the end and near most tyres, apart from maybe the soft, they'll struggle. Meanwhile, further back, the McLaren and all that are all getting close to Axel, who's also getting close to Spriggs. So both Spread and Phantom Dragon have made their break. Both of them away from the DRS of Spriggs. Spread going to try and close that gap to Phantom Dragon. He's going to try and battle for this win. Meanwhile, Hilly's in P7, Robbo in P10, but he's not part of this huge train of battling cars, which is Robbo's problem. That is why he's further down the order. He needs to get within this train. He needs to try and find as much pace as he can. Otherwise, again, it's going to be a race where he loses a fair few points to Hilly. So it is all playing well in the hands of our championship leader. He's got a 10-point advantage, remember, at this race. Can he extend it, or will he lose out? Got a long way to go at 32 out of 53. Spread has really closed that gap, but here comes the two Alpha males as Stamper Monkey able to cut the first part of the chicane there. He got very close to his teammate. He was all out of shape going through the final quarter. Just meanwhile, Axel goes through on Spriggs, and Phantom Dragon has been overtaken by Spread. Spread takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. He is enjoying his time out there around this track. He's absolutely loving it, and he's doing so much better on the ERS. It's unbelievable scenes. Now Atkins is practically shoving Spriggs around these corners, but you know, Spriggs knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to just stay out that little bit longer, but soon enough he will have to pit no matter what, because he can't continue like this. He's just losing so much time. And to be fair, all these other guys may need to pit. The hard runners might not need to, but the medium runners might need to pit again. They're going to be very slow towards the end of this race if they decide to stay out. They've only done 7 laps though, so they've still got good performance in hand, but as soon as they get to like the 15 marker point, as Sniper Monkey's going to go through here on Bolt's Curse, is also having a look as Bolt's goes wide through the speed curves. They're going to be almost boxing Bolt's in, but he's managed to hold off as he tries to look for a way through before 130R. Hasn't quite been able to do it, has to back off for now, but on the run towards the chicane. Is he going to find a way through? No. Curse tried to look to go down the inside, couldn't get late enough on the brakes. Bolt's lost out the position to Sniper Monkey, and now going to be under pressure by the other Alpha male, but he's got DRS to help him with the defence this time on the run towards turn 1, which is enough to stop Curse from getting alongside before turn 1 there. Meanwhile, Phantom Dragon has overtaken Spread for the lead. We go on board with Spread. I think these two might be doing some switcheroos all the way through. They've still got over a second advantage on Axel. Only just though, he's trying to close down that gap along with Atkins, as Spriggs is now down in 5th place. Hilly right behind Nick's one to go across as yellow flags momentarily there for Curse. He's had a moment. He's definitely had a moment. He's got front wing, no front wing damage on that, so just maybe an off-track excursion. Robbo's now there as he's trying to close in on the battles ahead. Spriggs sort of doing him a solid almost here, really. Now Axel has joined this battle for P1 as he approaches within DRS range. And some 2.4 behind that is Atkins in the other Aston Martin. So on board with the Alpine, is he going to get the chance to go through again on this start finish straight? They both had pretty good exits going through here, but DRS going to be enabled here. He's done the battery usage, and through goes Spread to retake the lead. We could be seeing this from every lap, really. Further behind, Hilly's yet lost another position. He's losing a position a lap at this current rate. But we saw Sniper Monkey make the moves through the corners. If you're going to do it again on Spriggs, we stay with this, as this is probably going to be the closest action. Meanwhile, Curse goes right back up to the back of Bolts, who's just slipped out of DRS range. Meanwhile, yellow flags again for France. He's had another moment through turns 1 and 2. On board as we go into the hairpin. A little bit of dust in the background there, so we might have gone off slightly, I think. Only slightly though. Continuing on then towards spin curves. He's not closed up as much as you would like it, so it looks like again it could be another single position lost on this lap. Spriggs on 16 lap all tyres compared to the 9 lap all ones. In fact, he doesn't need the DRS. He's going to get through before 130R, such as the difference in exits there. So Spriggs down in 7th, but he'll get the DRS. Can he make the challenge? No. It's a silly comment to make. No way he's going to be able to make a challenge. Simply not got enough grip. Speaking of challenges, Curse has finally got ahead of Bolts for P8. And whilst all that's happened, Spread of Phantom, they haven't changed positions, but they have pulled out of DRS range from Axel behind. Axel's just sort of trailing them. You'll sometimes get within and then sometimes drop out. Although, like I said, the difference here is now Phantom Dragon seems to be one with the slight advantage in ERS, and that is a 3-second time penalty then for our championship leader, and that could be curtains. With how close the grid is, that's at least a good couple of positions, unless he's able to get his foot down and get some grid separation. But that is very, very not good news at all for Hilly, picking up a penalty. Robbo will be liking the sound of that one though. As he runs in 10th place, trying to reduce the point loss as it stands, I should say. Meanwhile, Curse very close to the back of Spriggs, and Spriggs is getting very out of shape now. He's really starting to struggle for traction, which we saw from a lot of drivers at this stage, and yeah, I think that's it really, going into the pits. Meanwhile, position change for the lead again. Phantom Dragon overtakes Spread. Ironically, whilst we look at some other action at the same time. I promise I'm doing it. I promise I'm not doing it on purpose. So Spriggs opting for the soft tyres. Probably his best bet if he hasn't got any more mediums. He's have to go as quick as he possibly can to make his way up through the field. He's got a long gap to close. Up 37 out of 53. We're getting close now to the closing stages here. As it stands, we've got Phantom Dragon out in front, followed up by Spread and Axel. Another 1.7 seconds behind is Atkins, and then Hilly closely followed that with a 3-second time penalty. Also, Bolts also holding a 3-second time penalty. This is now joined by someone else being the championship leader. So all these guys get close under the chicane again. I think this time this is a much bigger gap we've seen. I think Spread's going to very much struggle to close on this one. Meanwhile, Hilly overtakes Atkins to get himself up into P4. And Robbo is also good to do Bolts. Robbo seems to have finally found some pace in them hard tyres. It's taken him 12 laps to do so. But that could be such nature as the tyres themselves. Spriggs is going to immediately pass Franz, and also it looks like Dystopian is also going to get past Franz going into turn 1. 2 positions lost on one straight, not exactly what you want to be seeing, but he's running in the race though. P12, that may be as well. We've lost 4 drivers from this race, Bolt and Schmidty. Both of them due to a crash. Ollie Chubb retiring in the pits, and Dark Lord crashing out as well. So back on with the battle then for the lead. The 3-car battle as Hilly now makes his way to close in, and he's bringing along Atkins and Snapper Monkey for the ride for good measure. Yet again, as the tyres wear on, each different, I think the mediums are now looking less favourable compared to the hard tyres, so those on the hards have definitely got their advantage cut out, as already Spread is past Phantom Dragon, and Phantom Dragon could be under pressure here from the other AlphaTauri of Axel. Axel's going to have to go the long way round, as Phantom Dragon had a lot of overspeed on the back of Spread there, which has helped him in defence really. Almost lost 2 positions in one straight, but has held them off for now. And you can see just in the background how much Hilly is closing in on this. At this rate, if Hilly's able to take advantage and get ahead of all these, he definitely has the pace advantage as it stands. Meanwhile, round for the Mercedes at turn 1. Dystopian is off again. It's been a bit of a horrid race there for Dystopian, as he finds himself back down in P12. Now looking at it, like I say, at the moment, pace wise, Hilly is by far the quickest on track, apart from Spriggs on soft tyres but in this battle for the lead, I should say, that was the right phrase to use. Also quickest at the track overall is definitely Spriggs or Silent Oxen. You're running in P10. Who is got a long way to go. Curse picks up a 3-second time penalty this time. Hilly's now got within DRS, but here comes Phantom Dragon on the back of Spread. Hasn't been able to get close enough, and will have to slot behind for another lap. And whilst Hilly's closed up, he's brought along with him Atkins, Sniper Monkey just there and thereabouts, so he dropped out of a second as they went into turn 1. So Hilly's going to get involved, and at the moment has the grip, but he has the penalty. Is he going to be able to sneak a podium here? Who knows? Lap 40 out of 53, some 14 laps to go. Getting very close now to the end. Another 14 laps on these tires will take 28 laps old. It is well and truly possible But will those medium runners want to do it? That's a very, very long way for mediums. Hards probably could. Mediums will struggle. They will struggle indeed. So here we go then. Will Phantom Dragon make the overtake this time? They've been switching positions all the way through, but he has a huge tank slapper on the exit of the final corner, and now that's going to allow Axel to potentially have a look here, but with the DRS it's going to help him out. He tries to look down the inside, couldn't get close enough. Spread lives another day in P1. For now, Atkins got very close to the back of Hilly through turn 1. He seems to have had a much better run all the way through the S's here. The front and wing camera. You can see how dirty the cars are getting with all the rubber and crap that comes off the track. I like how it instantly still has the red down arrow for Bolton, even though he's been out for most of this race. I imagine to complete 4 laps. Hey-ho, it happens, it happens. So, we found ourselves with a 6-car battle then for P1, all of them within DRS range of each other. Earlier, it was standing at a 12-car battle, but as other tyres have had their wear effect, we'll see if Curse and Robbo will see if they can join on this battle, as the hards are looking favourable as it stands. St. Oxen's got that gap down to 6 seconds behind Bolts, and he's closing in at a rate. And what's Dystopian? Looks like he's going to be overtaking Franz very shortly, as they actually go on board with this, as they go on the run towards 130R. It's Dystopian down the inside there, and easily through with the soft tyres over the hards. We go back with the leaders. Spread doing very well. He's saving a lot of battery compared to Phantom. He stands at about 44%. Same for his, same for the other AlphaTauri as well there. Hilly a little bit less, running at 30%. Half full for Atkins and Sniper Monkey-ish. So at the moment, battery-wise, it's advantage spread. I think as Hilly's joined onto this train and got within the dirty air, seems to be struggling a little bit more, almost dropping out of DRS. In fact, he is now. He's not had a great lap this time, and he could find himself under pressure from Atkins very quickly here. As I said, the hards look like they might have to be a favourable option. At the moment, the gaps are all sort of saying quite similar at the same area, although at the moment Curse seems to be losing a bit of time. I think he may be making a few mistakes there. So here we see Axel getting very close to the back of Fanta, then he's again going to have to try and go the long way round the outside, and he's got much later on the brakes. He's going to challenge this one now, swooping all the way around the outside, hasn't quite got enough alongside, and has to slot back in to maintain P3. Meanwhile, it is into the pits. The undercut attempt has been sent for Sniper Monkey and Bolts. They were on the very back of this train for P1, and they have decided to pull the trigger. They've got about 10 11 laps or so to close up to the back of this pack, who are all starting to go quite slowly here now. Understandably though, because the fresh tyres were doing so much better, but can they make up that gap, which is a 20, well for Sniper Monkey, 23 second gap. Obviously Bolts was a lot more further down. Is Sniper Monkey going to be able to pull that off? That is a huge gap. A huge gap to try and close to the leaders here. we'll keep an eye on his progress and probably see the timing screens come alight as AlphaTauri's looking a little bit wayward at the moment. Here we go then. Lap 44 for Sir Lewis Hamilton. As all of them, the DRS is helping Phantom Dragon's defence against Axel. If Phantom Dragon didn't have that DRS, he'd already be overtaken really here. As Axel seems to be very pacey, Spread's also looking very pacey at the moment and comfortably leading. Doesn't seem to be that bothered about the chance behind, and again he's still got a huge advantage on the battery, which is going to help him massively here. I mean, at this rate, he just needs to keep saving a bit per lap, and it gets towards the end where he's got that much left to use. Just use it all, break DRS, and that puts Phantom Dragon in a whole world of bother. No one responded then to the pit stop from Sniper Monkey. We keep an eye and see how much he's gained. Nearly gained, sort of gained about 3 seconds in one lap. I mean, time-wise, if he keeps up in that pace of being about three or so seconds quicker a lap, yeah, he'll get there, but he's also got to make the overtakes on some of the other drivers like Robbo and Curse and Atkins, who were a little bit wayward from the fighting pack. Sorry, not Atkins, he's right on the back, but he's hanging on in there for dear life, to say the least. Phantom Dragon going wide through turn 1, not exactly ideal situation. A 29.7 by Sniper Monkey. Let's just have a quick look at the race director just to see the race leader Spread's last lap time. We have a look here, go all the way down to the bottom. He did a 32.6. And that was a 29.4 now for Bolt, so both in the 29s and the leaders are in the 32s, as Curse has gone round at Dunlop again. It's his favourite corner, that. Absolutely flying round this track is Sniper Monkey, and is almost caught up to the back of Spriggs, who pitted that much earlier and has sort of been a bit wayward towards the end. This is going to be very close here. If Sniper Monkey pulls this off, he's definitely got a driver of the day, as Franz picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is an unbelievable strategy call, as Hilly has a chance on the back of Axel. Axel has not had a good exit through the final corner. Here comes Hilly, he's having to go very defensive to the inside there and almost squeezing him off the track there. That was a little bit naughty there, but nevertheless very hard racing. He had to do that though to try and stay ahead. It was a great run for Hilly on the back of Axel, but it hasn't quite worked out. Meanwhile, immediately passing Spriggs for P8 is Sniper Monkey. He goes through again, and he's got now a 4.5 second gap to close onto the back of Curse, who sits behind Robbo, who's currently in P6. Meanwhile, Bolt's flying past Dystopian as well. Bolt's back up into the top 10 then. Hilly with that penalty as it stands, it'll drop him behind Atkins. He'll still get P5. It'll be P6 for Robbo, so not much of a points gain, but it's a gain nevertheless. And you don't think about the positive outcome really. And all these guys fighting, you never know, if there's a little bit of contact or a mistake, it could concertina up and cost them time, which time they can't really afford to lose, such as the pace of Sniper Monkey at the moment. He's making good progress, but seems to slow down a little bit as he's coming through some of the traffic. Meanwhile, Curse is getting very close to the back of Robbo here. in fact could be overtaking Rubber here. Here we go then, on board with the Alpha and Male. They're very much neck and neck. He's now ahead going into the brakes at turn 1, but it's hugely late on the brakes for Robbo there, and fantastic stuff there from the Aston Martin driver to retake P6 from Curse. But Curse isn't done fighting this one. He's all over the back of the Aston Martin. He's simply got much more pace going through some of these corners, and arriving on scene in the background is Sniper Monkey. Here he comes. These two battling are not going to make life easy for Sniper Monkey. He's going to have to very, very quickly clear these two if he wants to have a chance to close the back, because he's still got yet another 10-second gap after that. So yeah, look at this. Here he is arriving on scene then, as we can see Curse trying to find his way through Robbo, Snap Monkey trying to find the way through the pair of them. Lap 47 out of 53. He is running out of time to try and make this one pull off. Immediately looks like he's going to be trying to go around the outside as there's a huge bit of contact there. And that nearly went terribly wrong. He's tried to, obviously didn't want to get boxed in. He's had to just sort of shove his teammate out of the road there. That got very scary indeed. But that is just the pure determination signs there from Sniper Monkey. Curse probably won't be happy with that one. But through Curse, Sniper Monkey into P6. And he's now after the leading 5. He's still leading them, by the way. It is spread out in front from Phantom, then Axel. It's been like this for quite a lot of laps. Healy remaining in 4th, and then Atkins in 5th. Keep an eye on the timing screens. We are on lap 48 out of 53. Can he do it? He has got to put his foot down. 3 seconds a lap needs to be nearly 4 seconds a lap, if he really wants to have a chance, because he's got a train to get through, which is going to be a lot harder than just a couple of cars or one car. At the very least, he might be able to get within Hilly's penalty window. We can see what that gap will be when they all cross the line, and we can have a look at the time screen and see how much he gains. It's now down to 8 seconds. It's nearly a second a set to there. It's good pace. He's putting his absolute foot down. Needs maximum concentration throughout the rest of this race. Meanwhile, Axel is again under a lot of pressure from Hilly, but maintains his position. All these guys on these harder tyres, these old tyres, are going to be absolutely screaming for grip. They are very much going to be in a huge bit of struggle. 7.5 then is the gap as they are going through the S's. He is closing at a rate of knots. Curse makes a bit of a mistake and it allows Robert to go back through into P7. Spriggs is arriving on scene in the background. Sniper Monkey is a man on a mission. Gap now almost down to 6 seconds as they are in Sector 2. This is going to be very close. Sniper Monkey may be a genius for the strategy here, or is it going to backfire? And obviously whilst he's doing this, he's got to overtake 5 cars to get into P1. And we saw how it nearly went horribly wrong passing 2 cars. He needs to, as much as he needs to be desperate to get through, he can't be too desperate in the fact that he gets involved in incidents. That's the worst case scenario. He does not want to be doing that. And to be honest, in the back of Healy's mind, if he gets approached by Sniper Monkey who's coming very fast and determined for the win, he might just try, he might give that one up in fairness. He was nearly over 3 seconds a lap quicker last time round for Sniper Monkey. Gap now down to 5.5 behind Atkins, and all of them are up each other's arses. all the way up to P1 here. Lap 50 out of 53. Time is running out. Time is also running out for Spriggs, and Robbo's trying to have to try and hold off Spriggs here, but I think the inevitable could happen for the Aston Martin driver here as they're on the run towards the hairpin. Is he going to try and make the move here? He has a look down the inside. He goes down the inside. They make contact. Robbo gets the better exit, going the wrong way round the outside, and it's going to force Spriggs into that awful wide line as they now go towards Spoon Curves. He's going to try and send it down the inside again. Not quite alongside enough. He's going to have to wait. Maybe have a chance in 130R or the chicane, or stick behind for that DRS to make it as easy as possible. But he will also have a DRS for assistance as well. Snapper Monkey's pace not good enough last time round. He's only managed to close it down to 4 seconds by the time they cross the line. It's not quick enough. He needs more. 51 out of 53. He's actually losing a little bit of time. He's made a mistake. Now through goes Robbo on Curse then. And Spriggs unable to make any positions that time round. Further back we've got Axel getting very close to the back of Phantom again. Spread is going to be noticing the times, and he's going to be putting his foot down a little bit. You can probably see that Alfa Romeo coming up on the track, but he's actually nearly popping in the background now. Axel trying to look for a way past Phantom Dragon. He's got a pretty good exit out of the hairpin, but as they go around the slight banked corner here, it looks like Phantom Dragon's going to hold off for now, but he's becoming increasingly alarming under pressure here. Can Axel get a P2 finish as we've got yellow flags for Dystopian? Imagine if that caused one last safety car. Jesus Christ. The leaders will be absolutely shitting themselves. Here we go then, down the inside, Axel on the pair of them. He goes off the track, and that's allowed Phantom Dragon to get ahead of Spread. That was a very late send. Hilly's involved in that one. Axel's gone round at the chicane. It's drama towards the final couple of laps. Sniper Monkey has now just been given a second lifeline. Atkins is now just side by side, holding off from Sniper Monkey. Phantom Dragon, I think, may have to let him Spread come through, as he knows it was not exactly his intention. Axel was very ambitious, too late on the brakes, and that allowed a lot of busy changes to happen there. Yellow flags again. It looks like Spriggs might be gone round. Spriggs has gone round. Disaster then for the Williams. But Sniper Monkey right to the back of Atkins. Atkins dropped out massively here. Hilly up into P3 momentarily as they make a little bit of contact in the hairpin. Hilly has a chance to potentially go right round the outside here just before Spoon, but hasn't quite got alongside enough. Phantom Dragon found himself increasingly even more under pressure. Well, that wasn't really going to be happening. 2 laps to go, almost on the final lap here. Drama kicking off up and down the road. Sniper Monkey has almost managed to make that one work, but I think he's just ran out of time, ran out of pace. You can just see then going into the chicane again. Have a look what Sniper Monkey is. He's going to stick behind as we now start the final lap of the race. It is all or nothing, which has already happened for the likes of Axel, who becomes under pressure. Sniper Monkey overtaking Atkins. Sniper Monkey with Hilly's penalty is going to be on the podium as it stands unless anything happens. Spread has burnt off a lot of battery to get a pretty decent gap ahead of Phantom Dragon, so that is going to hurt Phantom Dragon. He's going to be under pressure from Hilly behind. Can he force a mistake? Can he force a possible penalty from one of these two? I think he might just sit with B3, but I think he knows he's going to drop out here. could he potentially, at the moment, he might potentially lose 2 positions. He might go down to P5, which Rob will be happy about that one. And Rob is going to try and overtake Axel as well. Spread has done a fantastic job this race. And so's Phantom and Healy and all that. Fair play to all these guys. As we've got just a couple of corners, a few more corners left then to navigate. They go into the chicane for the final time then. It looks like Spread at the end of all this is going to come out on top here in Japan, and it's Spread back on top to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Phantom Dragon in second, and keep your applause going for Sniper Monkey, who achieves a podium finish from a very ambitious strategy there at the end. Atkins comes home in 4th, Hilly in 5th. Championship leader gaining more points on Robbo. Axel comes home in 6th. And that is 7th for Robbo. Curse in 8th. Spriggs in 9th. Bolts gets 10th place finish. Dystopian looks like he's going to come home to secure P11. And it looks like it will be Franz down in 12th, but nevertheless finishing the race. Absolute drama then all the way through. And like I say, fair play to Sniper Monkey there as, oh dearie me, that's one way to finish the race. Righty, we're going to switch to a different channel here. Spread then your race. Oh, winner. What a great job. Rightio then. So there you have it, your confirmation then. Race winner, Master Spread, from 14th on the grid. Absolutely deserves driver of the day, and fair play to Phantom Dragon as well, another contender, and also Sniper Monkey, another very strong contender. If he'd have got the win, it definitely would have gone to him. I know he may have started on ball, but that, from going nearly last, was absolutely fantastic. Last minute strategy goal, and it nearly paid off in fairness. I think he just needed that little bit more pace at the end, and it is a 1:29.4, the fastest lap of the race by Bolts. Does himself a very good job. Sniper Monkey confirmed he won't be able to take part in the interviews, that's no worries, but a huge shout then. No worries, man, no worries. We just wait to see if Spreader will join us. In fact, actually, I have a better method of contacting me. Hang on. Dee. Rightio, we'll have a quick look over at how this could affect the standing. So, Spread finally back on top with a win, a full 35 points for him. We have a look at, I'm just hang on, where's the scoring point system? There it is. So Hilly came on P5 for 22 points. He's got an outside chance here. Here he is, he's joined us. We'll start with you, Spread. welcome back to the podium. And what a performance from starting 14th on the grid. Talk us through that race with you.
Uh, yeah, I think it got a bit of a miscommunication error in qualifying. I don't think Fran's seen me till the very last minute, and then as I was going round him, he went to get out my way, which put me off, and then I ended up in the wall. So it was always going to be a damage limitation, but I mean, I had good pace in the car tonight. It felt like it was on rails, but I was running 38, 36 wings, so on the straights I was going absolutely nowhere. But yeah, it was one of them. It was a good race. It got a great battle throughout it. I think me and Phantom swapped places at least 5 or 6 times in that race. And then obviously I got backed up behind Hilly in the first stop, and then Hilly got backed up behind me in the second stop. And obviously different strategies playing out as well. But no, luckily the tyres held on and we kept the pace good. And even at the end, the car still felt like it was on rails. So yeah, I can't really argue too much with the car. It was nice, but I don't think I'll ever see it again now. I booted back down to the Haas, the Alfa Romeo, and stuff like that, depending on who's racing.
I'm about to say,
But
you get out your house and you get a win. Right, get it back in there.
yeah, well, we moved everybody up tonight because we know there's a skill gap between Axel, Kamarov, Phantom, Sniper, and then there's Spriggs, and then you get a bit of a gap then to me, and then a bit of a gap from me to like the next lot. So we tried to even that gap out and leave a couple of cars out tonight while we had the opportunity. I think it worked well. It was sort of battling all race, or it was for me. Obviously, there was a couple of incidents, but no, it was a good race. Seemed a very good race, and apart from Axel's, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't even say that were a dive bomb. I don't know what he did at the end, but he
I
scared
think
the
I
life
think
out
he
of me.
may have missed his braking point by the looks of that. He got very
I
deep from a
thought
very long way back.
I thought it was Phantom. I was like, that's a bit deep, and then I was like, it's Axel. That's very deep. What's he doing there? So yeah, I think he jumped straight out of our way anyway, and he gave us both the positions back. So. Yeah, so, yeah, it was good fun. It was a good race. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and one of my favourite tracks as well. So, yeah, happy.
Just another thing to pick up upon at the end. Well, obviously towards the last few laps, there we saw Sniper Monkey jump into the pits for the soft tyres. Nearly worked out. Was that a thing going through the back of your mind? Was that a potential option you were thinking of? It's like, do I maybe potentially? I know you're in P1, but if everyone else picked, do you
Um,
respond, or was it like a done deal?
yeah, no, it was stay where you are, deal with what you've got. Like I said, with damage limitation, I was never expected to win it, but the car just felt so nice that I didn't want to. I didn't want to get off the tyres at that point. I just thought I can stay here. I'm opening the gap on corner exit. I've got into that rhythm where he wasn't quite close enough to get me in DRS again. It was always opening up to 5 to 6 tenths, and it was just enough to keep Phantom behind me on the straight. So he was that. That was it. That was just sole position now, track position. We've got the car. We feel comfortable. Let's just get it to the end.
No problem. Thank you very much. Moving on then. Phantom, a P2 finish, narrowly missing out at the end. I think he came very close to under pressure from Axel behind a fair few times. Just talk us through your point of views on that one.
Yeah, just a hell of a difficult race. I mean, no quali, um, and then from the back of the grid, just giving it my best shot. Also struggled a bit on the straight throughout the race. But yeah, a bit of a risk also today. After the safety cars with the overtaking, but yeah, just give it my best shot, and in the end, P2. So pretty happy about it. Of course, I would have loved to finally get a win, but I think that's meant for another time.
Well, you've got two more chances at that one, so it could
Yeah,
still happen. You never know. I think spread now becomes our seventh different race winner of this season, which is mad to think that we've had 7 different race winners here. Um, Speaking of next time, next week, Imola spread. How are you feeling about that one? If you are going to be there, of course.
Yeah, I think I'll be there. And we just made it tonight, like, but yeah, I think Imola's a good track. Derby seem to do well there. I like the track. We'll have to see what we get given and deal with what we got. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
As in terms of points you've gained, you are 46 points behind Hilly. Hilly's only gained probably 22 points out of this one. You're gaining 35. Technically, you have an outside chance, and that has just increased massively with a race win here. Can you think you can keep up this performance all the way to the end?
Um, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. That's all I can say. I'm gonna do my best. Obviously, it's always nice to win something. See, one of the leagues I've not won anything in that I'm part of, so I know it's on its first season. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get something out of it for the season because we've had a couple of bad races as well. So I think that's really hampered the chances. Well,
We'll see what happens
we'll push.
if we show on. Phantom Dragon, what is your thoughts on Imola next week?
Not my favorite track, to be honest. I'm struggling a lot in the first sector with all the chicanes. But yeah, I'm just gonna give it my best again, and we will see where I'll finish. Of course, the goal is to try to get the win, but I think it will be more difficult than today.
And there is, in terms of where you are at the moment, certainly sat in P6 closest arrivals there, you like to Spriggs, Karov and Dystopian, but at the rate you're going, you're picking up a lot of second place finishes. Again, 30 points is a big haulage. What realistically do you think is the highest position you can finish in this championship?
Mm, well, if I look at the championship right now, maybe top three. I think that's the best I could do. But yeah, the guys are just so fast. I mean, it will be very difficult. But yeah, just that would be the goal. P3 maybe.
Fighting talk indeed. Well, thank you for very much joining me again. Unfortunately, we're not able to get Stamp Monkey in, but a huge shout out to Stamp Monkey. Driver of the day was to spread, fastest lap to bolts. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week around Imola. But you'll see me next Tuesday with driving, and you know how well that goes. See you everyone. Good night.